Hello everyone, welcome to Brilbook. In this video, we will have a look at offboarding process. We will cover the following topics in this video: creation of termination request, submission and approval of termination request, creation of knowledge transfer session, then we'll see creation of handover checklist, creation of interview template, and at last we'll see completion of termination request. Now for creation of termination request, we need to log in to Brilbook. I have already logged in with HR user. Now for creation of termination request, navigate to offboarding, expand offboarding menu list, and then click on termination request. Now on termination request list page, click on create button to create a new termination request. Termination request page has been opened. Here under the basic section, select the personnel that we have to terminate, then select its job assignment, select type as resignation or termination. Here I will select type as resignation, then select notice period for that personnel, then select last working day of that personnel. So I will select last working day as 20th of July, and then click on save button. Our termination request is created and we can see knowledge transfer session, handover checklist and exit interview tabs appeared. Now our next step is to submit and approve termination request. For that, click on approval and then click on submit button. Status of termination request is marked as submitted. Now HR manager will approve this termination request. I have logged in with HR manager and we are on the detail page of termination request. Now for approval of termination request, click on approval and then click on approve button. Our termination request is now approved. Now we will again log in with HR user and proceed further towards completion of this termination request. I have logged in with HR user and now you can see we are on the detailed page of termination request. Our termination request is in approved state. Now we will create knowledge transfer sessions. For that, navigate to knowledge transfer session and then click on create button. Knowledge transfer session create page has been opened. Here under the basic section, select training. I will select trainee as Adam Blackwell. Then select add schedule date. So I will select schedule date as 6th of July. Then start time as 10 a.m. and then end time as 12 p.m. and then click on save button. A knowledge transfer session is created. Now for scheduling the knowledge transfer session, for the selected date, select status as scheduled and then click on save button. You can see status of knowledge transfer session is marked as scheduled and form has become read in only format. Now select status as completed once knowledge training session is completed and then click on save button. With this we have successfully completed our knowledge transfer session. Now we will go back to the termination request detail page. After completing the knowledge transfer session, we will create handover checklist. For that, navigate to handover checklist tab and then click on create button. Now under the basic section, Add name for handover checklist. I will add name as computer handover. Now select date. I will select date as 7th of July and then click on save button. Our handover checklist is now created and handover checklist line tab appeared. Now for creation, handover checklist line has been created automatically. Now click on the checklist line record. Here we will select status of this checklist line record as received and then click on save button. We can see there is an option for not received. If our handover is not received, then we will mark our handover checklist line as not received. So here we will mark it as received and then click on save and close button. With this we have successfully completed our handover checklist and we can see status has been marked as completed. So now we will go back to the termination request detail page by clicking on the hyperlink of termination request. After completing handover checklists, our next step is to create exit interviews. For that, navigate to exit interview tab and then click on create button. Exit interview create page has been opened. Here we will write name as exit interview. Then select scheduled date. Here we will select scheduled date as 8th of July. Start time as 10 AM and then end time as 11 AM. Then select interviewer. Here I will select interviewer as Tony Stark and then click on save button. Our exit interview record has been created. Now we will schedule this interview round. For that, click on status, select status as scheduled and then click on save button. Our interview round status is marked as scheduled. Now select this status as in progress, or we can also click this in progress button to mark our exit interview as in progress. And then we can see mark complete button appeared on the ribbon of exit interview detail page. To complete the exit interview, click on mark complete button. And our exit interview is marked as completed. Now after completing exit interview, we will go back to the termination request detail page and proceed further towards completion of termination request. Now we will click on in process button on the ribbon of termination request detail page. Our termination request status is marked as in process. Once all the process is completed, we will click on mark complete button to complete the termination request. So click on mark complete button. And with this we can see status of our termination request is marked as completed. So with this we have successfully completed the process of termination request. And in this video we saw creation of termination request, submission and approval of termination request, creation of knowledge transfer session, creation of handover checklist, creation of exit interview, and at last we saw completion of termination request. Thank you.